What is up, everyone? Circon here, bringing you guys another Advent calendar video, day 5. So the last 2 days or so were not, not that great, but today is it's decent. It is the Liberté, the French heavy, with actual armor and single shot instead of the usual tech tree memes. And considering the next patch is introducing a new tier 8, 9, and 10 heavy tanks with armor, single shots to the tech tree, this might be of use to some of you because this tank is not too bad. So at least they offer it in, the Liberté camo or just the regular M4 MLE 49 colors. That's up to you, especially with the camouflage changes that are coming as in regards to customization. I'm not sure how the hell these camos are gonna work, but for the most part, most people will probably just pick up these. Keep in mind though that the camo that is on the Liberté works on desert, winter, summer camo, and if you buy the MLE 49, you don't have camo, so you have to buy a little bit. You have to spend a little bit of extra gold to get that camo, and I think the camo works entirely the same in Liberté, so you have to spend a little bit more gold to get camo at this thing. Keep that in mind, it will increase the price a little bit. So the Advent offer is, of course, with 15 missions and personal reserves. So don't really fall for this too much. The 50% discount is not really worth it. We've talked about this before. So you probably want to just get the regular one if you are, which is about 38 or so euros. This is in this is in Norwegian kroner. This is, I think, around 40 euros or something like that. Is that really worth it? I mean, it's not a bad tank, but you have to realize that a lot of people, since its introduction, kind of know how to handle it a little bit. Is it a bad tank, though? No, I don't think it is. It's actually a pretty damn decent tank if you start giving it burst arms and all that. Let's give it recon. Let's give it situational awareness at least. Safe stowage to be sure, clutch braking maybe, and that's about it. So what do you got? 1800 DPM. It's not the greatest, right? You still have to add gun rammer. You're probably gonna run the optics, and you're probably gonna run the first steps because there is no choice in equipment in this game. But that's on another note. So your DPM is fairly low, doing 300 alpha per shot for 232 base pen, which is nice, and 263 APCR pen, which is also nice. And the shell velocity is 1000 on the AP, and I think it goes even higher up here, 1250 on the APCR, which is APCR is usually 1250. So you're looking at a tank that doesn't have too much DPM, but it does have the a really good armor, of course. And compared to AFX 5100s or whatever, it actually has really, really good armor. Now, what I mentioned earlier is that a lot of people know how to deal with it now, and that's because the major downside of this tank is the weak cupola. That's also a fairly big model. I'll show you guys on the visual model so you can see it a little bit better. You can see that it's a pretty damn big weak spot. It's like KV5 levels almost. Now, being on the turret and having that 10 degrees of gun depression means that you can hide it relatively well if you're hull down and going over hills and stuff. But you can see even at max gun depression while still being able to shoot, this thing is still a gigantic weak spot. And also the armor on the front on the hull is about, as you can see, 240-ish effective. Lower plate is the same. The sights are not worth it. And the moment you start angling the tank, this becomes a weak spot, and also people can track you and damage you. So the way you want to be using this tank is to barely angle at all. Just a little bit like this, and not more, because then you will just make your armor weaker. Of course, tier 9s and 10s, especially with the heat dam and all that, will chew through your hull like crazy, right? The gun mantlet is also pretty good, as you can see here. Pretty damn good. The sides, however, are 57. The turret is not too bad, except for the back, and you can see the seam on the turret here. After this, the armor becomes really weak in the back. So that's something to keep in mind as well if you're shooting these. Some tips to take these guys out. This is a pretty big target, but relatively small. If you have the sights and you have, like, for example, you're playing a tier 6 or 7 medium tank with not a lot of ped, shoot it in the back of the turret, not in the middle section, because that still has a little bit more armor than the back. And of course, the backside is like 40, which is HE-able by a lot of things. You really have to watch out for relatively high HE pens by, you know, T49. Well, you are gonna be T49s, stuff like this, or even the RU with regular HE that is not a derp gun will chew you as well. So if you're gonna buy it, you have to play it really like a battering ram, barely angle, and, you know, especially if you're top tier for once in your life in tier 8, which is not gonna happen too much, I don't think, playing at tier 8. But if you are, the more you angle, the more you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. And if you're bottom tier, the gun has enough bend, you know, to do a little bit of work. It's not the greatest heavy tank gun ever, but it's okay. So if you want to start training your heavy tank crews for the super heavies, for the French that are coming next patch, I think the tier 9 is a really good tank. And you know, you want to prepare, you have the money to waste, and it might be worth a purchase. Overall though, I think it's not the best tank ever. Like in the beginning, it was just kind of fun when it came out, because nobody really knew how to deal with it. And it's still kind of hard to deal with it if you know, don't stand still too much and stuff like this. It requires a little bit of finesse to play. It's not as like face roll to play as like an object 252U or anything like that. It requires a little bit more finesse, but it's not a bad tank, you know. But keep in mind, as always, it is a tier 8, and you will be bottom tier quite a bit in today's matchmaking. If that never changes, that's kind of a shame. So yeah, that's my info on the tank for today. You should buy the standard, don't buy the bundle. The bundle barely is a discount, if a discount at all. So yeah, that is the advent calendar for today, day 5. I'll be checking in tomorrow, of course, day 6. And yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think about the Liberté? Have you bought it already in previous sales? What do you think about it? Maybe help some people out in the comment sections with a little bit more info on them, or just your opinions. I would love to read them. Yesterday's video on the Fury had some really cool comments, and yes, I do read all my comments, even if I don't react to them. So yeah, I'd love to see some more discussions about this tank in today's advent calendar in the comment section down below. But for now, I'm gonna be out of here. See you guys tomorrow for day 6, or I'll see you guys on stream later today, twitch.tv/Circon. You know where to find me by now. Link is even on the screen, you know. It is what it is. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.